All right, 3 reasons you procrastinate. Number 1, lacking internal harmony. Now, let me give you a quick introduction so you kind of understand what this means. Think of yourself as a community of sub-personalities. You are not one person, one individual being, but like I just said, a community, an amalgamation of different personalities that come out at different points in your life. Another way to think about this is that you are not the same person with your mom or parents, at your work, your job, co-workers, with your friends, partner, or even alone. In each one of these scenarios, or with these different people, you express yourself in a different way. And you can also think of these as different parts of your being, right? When you think, a part of myself really wants to exercise, really wants to eat healthy and be active. But there's this other part of myself, for whatever reason, wants to stay inside, watch TV, and eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Because it's delicious. And White Lotus is on, right? So you have these different parts, right? A really common one everybody knows about is the inner child, which we'll get to in a second. But lesser known ones, inner adolescent. We also know the higher self, again, pretty common, well known. Shouldn't be news to you. Inner warrior, inner critic, and inner demons. Most of these, except for the inner warrior and maybe the inner adolescent, you've probably heard before, right? So in this analogy that I'm going to give you, I want you to think of yourself like an instrument. In this instance, we're going to use a guitar. I'm quite familiar with it, so that's why we're going to be using it. And imagining that each string is a different part of yourself. Most people obviously have more than 6 strings, 6 parts in their being, but we're just keeping it simple for this example. You can have your inner adolescent wants to exercise, wants to eat healthy because they want validation. They want to be accepted or be perceived as cool and attractive to others. Your higher self wants you to be healthy. So then you have the energy and the capability and the clarity to fulfill your purpose. Inner warrior, the fighting spirit usually pretty much aligns with exercise, physical activity. Inner critic might be critiquing the way that you look. You look like shit. You're lazy. Get off the couch. What the fuck? Inner critic, right? So you have, in this example, these 4 parts want you to exercise and eat healthy. But for whatever reason, an inner demon or many inner demons, right, are out of alignment with the other parts of your being, out of tune. And all you need is one string to fuck everything else up. So what do? Because you have 4 parts that want to move forward, exercise, but then you have this one out of tune part of yourself that wants to stay inside, eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and binge watch White Lotus. You have to go inside of yourself and interact with this, in this scenario, your inner demon or whatever part of yourself is, causing this procrastination that is out of alignment with the other parts of yourself that want to accomplish something, right? And also it could sometimes be the reverse. Sometimes you have one part of yourself wants to, exercise or do something you want to be doing. And then there's 3 other parts of yourself that are, battling it out and very likely winning because of numbers, right? So go inside of yourself, interact with these parts of yourself that for whatever reason are holding you back. Don't want to accomplish the goals or to take the actions you want to be taking to better yourself. Okay? Very simple. Number 2 reason you procrastinate. Wounded inner child. Can be somewhat similar to the internal disharmony thing, but way more common. And also, if you have a wounded inner child, it just fucks your whole, everything is fucked when you have a wounded inner child. A lot of times what happens, oh yeah, this is my drawing of, he's a guy, he's like stoic, but inside he's like, ah. It's like a pissed off kid who's sad. So your inner child is sad, right? And you're trying to act like everything's okay. With a wounded inner child, a lot of times, because the child, you, when you were a kid, didn't get what you needed when you were that age, when you were a kid, you try to get it as an adult. It could be attention, it could be playtime, certain validation, alone time, whatever it may be. You try to get it as an adult because you didn't get it as a kid. But you do it unconsciously and compulsively because most people are not aware of their inner child's needs, right? So, for example, let's say your wounded inner child wants attention. Your inner child may stop you from exercising. We'll continue, we'll keep it consistent to make it easy. Let's say exercising and eating healthy is what you're procrastinating from. You're not starting that diet, you're not starting that exercise regimen, right? Your inner child, instead of exercising, might push you to socialize. Or you need attention, right? You didn't get attention as a kid. Your friends are going out to dinner. And you go out to dinner with them. And they're drinking. And you drink. And they're eating fried foods. And you do the same. Because that's what people do. People eat pizza, fried foods, and they drink beer when they're out with their friends. Because you don't want to be alone. That's your inner child trying to fulfill a need in the present in a dysfunctional, unconscious way. So what do? Go inside of yourself and you interact with your wounded inner child and figure out what it needs from you. Everyone's inner child is different. This is a thing that you need to do. There's no regimen. There's no protocol of if an inner child feels this, you do this, right? Everyone is their own unique being. So you got to figure this shit out for yourself. Only you will have the answers for yourself, especially your inner child, who most of the time just wants your attention, but also other things. Like my inner child loves to go on drives, loves to play music, loves to go on hikes in nature, and loves to hang out with friends. Very simple. But that's not everybody. Not everybody likes to hike in nature. Not everybody likes to just play, well, a lot of people can't even play music, right? So you need to figure out what makes your inner child tick, and then designate time to give your inner child the things that it needs from you. So it doesn't bleed in to the areas or the times in your life where you need to be productive. Pretty simple. 3, wrong path. Wrong path. All that means is that you might be on the wrong path in life. So you might be procrastinating because your higher self or intuition, could be either or. Yes, they're different. Wrong path. It could be trying to tell you hey, don't do those TPS reports, or don't do that thing for your boss because you're actually not supposed to be in that job in the first place. Or you might be procrastinating doing something with a partner because you're not really supposed to be with that person to begin with. And so in this drawing, you have your birth, you walk down a certain path. In this scenario, you are here, whatever the fuck that means, whatever the fuck this is, you're here. And you might need to be over here. That's this is where your dharma is, your purpose is, where you feel aligned. Over here, it's a struggle. Every day is a battle. You're working at a job you hate, you're with a person you're not supposed to be with. You're maybe learning something in school, your major is, you're trying to be pre-med because you think that's what you're supposed to do, but actually, you want to dance. In this economy, probably don't do that, but you get the point. You're just out of alignment. And how do you know if you're out of alignment? How do you know if this is it? Because you got to be careful, right? Because you could be on the right path. It's just that you're lacking internal harmony, or you just have a wounded inner child. Or it could be neither of these things. And it's just that you're actually hardworking, you want to be successful, you're conscientious, you're healthy for the most part, kind of rare, but it happens. You know, you had a great life, but you're like, why the fuck is shit still like ass? You're on the wrong path. For whatever reason. So you go inside of yourself, you ask, whatever part is leading to this procrastination, it might be your higher self, it might be your inner intuition or inner guide, it might be something else that's saying, hey, the reason why I'm holding you back from handing in those TPS reports is because you're supposed to quit, or you're not supposed to be with this douchebag, this guy, or this girl. They're not for you. So we're holding you back from doing the things that will move you even further down the wrong path. And you need to make a course correction, make an adjustment in the direction that you're moving in life. Pretty simple. Easier said than done, right? I mean, most people don't know how to go inside themselves and interact with the different parts of themselves. So if you want help, you want a guide, I have made one for you. It's called the Transformation Guide. You can get the link down below in the description. Step-by-step guide on how to change your habits, bad habits to healthy habits. Obviously, one of them being one of the most popular bad habits is procrastination. Or if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can sign up for a 90-minute session down below. Transformation sessions, link in the description. Cheers. Thank you.